In one of his simple records, The Contest, John Ashworth tells how a representative of the Sunday School Union attended a meeting which was being held at the Woolpack Inn to dissuade a group of gentlemen from planning the Rochdale races, an event which consisted of what Mr. Ashworth described as very deplorable scenes. Gambling, drinking and general pandemonium. This building here was the Woolpack Inn where that meeting took place. Mr. Ashworth gave God the credit for the committee's success when the Rochdale races stopped for good the following year. Not too far away from here, there was a house called Harelands in the area of Lark Field. In his tale All Is Well, John Ashworth describes how hundreds of people gathered outside the home of a teacher called Miss Anne Hoyle Marsden at that house during the 1854 Whitsuntide procession. Anne was dying of consumption, but she was carried downstairs and placed in an easy chair before the drawing room window so she could see the procession. While all her friends were round her weeping, Mr. Ashworth describes how 24-year-old Anne was calmly smiling and asked them to sing a hymn. From every sin and sorrow free, I shall the King of Glory see. All is well. This is Milkstone Place. Here in bygone days there stood a large stone table supported by 3 thick stone pillars, and country farmers brought their milk and were met by their town customers with pitchers. Owing to this custom, it was designated the Milkstone. John Ashworth said, underneath it many a schoolboy had taken shelter from the storm. And on top of it, many a weary traveller had laid down his heavy burden. It was on a hot summer day when he was walking by his poor mother's side as she toiled up the hill with a flannel piece on her back to reach the milkstone where she laid down her heavy burden, that John Ashworth said the painful fact that he was the poor child of poor parents flashed into his mind. John Ashworth's love for his mother was deep and lasting, and when he recognised she was so humble, toiling and kind, it prompted him to write a tale about her, which he entitled My Mother. This little street here is called Milk Street. Joseph Taylor, also known as Pinder, from the tale The Two Old Men, was living here on Milk Street when he died in 1862. So I've actually just met a helpful guy who lives around here, and he's informed me, which I didn't know until now, that the milkstone itself was actually situated around about where this tree is. So this area is apparently where the milkstone was. We're backtracking a little bit onto this street here, which is Sussex Street. So we're now on Sussex Street. John Ashworth's daughter Mary Jane had a condition called scrofula, which is an infection of the lymph nodes in the neck. In the old times it was known as King's Evil, because people believed the sovereign's touch could cure it. With the illness came sweats and fevers, and sores appeared on the neck, head and face, resulting in a pig-like appearance. Mr. Ashworth was very close to his daughter, Mary Jane, and described her as a great and patient sufferer. She died here on Sussex Street on the 21st of March 1873 at the age of 31. Mary Jane's husband Amos Barraclough was a tea dealer. They had 2 children, John Ashworth's grandchildren. John Ashworth's diaries show that he saw in the new year on his knees whilst praying at Castlemere Chapel. That was in 1874. Castlemere Chapel is now Castlemere Banqueting Hall.